Hello everyone. What you're about to hear comes from years of hands-on experience working directly with customers and solving real-world problems in our repair shop. One of the most common issues we see with the Ember Mug 2 is the charging base connection error, or when the mug simply stops recognizing the charging coaster. Many customers think the mug has completely failed, but in our repair shop we've found that, most of the time, the problem is related to the communication between the charging base and the mug, not a major hardware failure. Something we hear all the time is customers saying, "Sometimes it charges and sometimes it doesn't," or "I have to move the mug around a little before the light comes on." When we hear this, the first thing we inspect is the metal contacts on both the charging base and the mug. It's very common to find coffee residue, moisture, or dirt, preventing proper electrical contact and causing this error. That's why one of the first recommendations we make in the shop is to carefully clean those contacts with a soft cloth and isopropyl alcohol. It may seem like a simple fix, but many of our technicians agree that this quick cleaning often solves connection problems that initially look like much more serious failures. If the error message still appears, we then check the power supply. Some customers mention they're using third-party power adapters, extension cords, or USB ports, which can prevent the charging base from receiving enough power to operate correctly. We also make sure the mug is properly centered on the charging coaster, since even a slight misalignment can keep the contacts from making a solid connection. Beyond the physical components, it's also worth checking the Ember app and the firmware. Some customers tell us the error started after a firmware update or after pairing the mug with a different phone. In those situations, we recommend updating the firmware and pairing the mug again to rule out a synchronization issue. If the error persists after all of these checks, we begin to suspect a problem with the charging base itself or an internal component inside the mug. Wear on the charging base, a damaged power cable, or a fault in the charging circuit can all cause this behavior. At that point, the best option is to have the mug inspected by an authorized service center so the faulty component can be identified and replaced if necessary. Ember itself recommends using the original charging coaster, keeping the charging contacts clean, verifying the power supply, and making sure the firmware is up to date before considering a replacement. Following those steps in that order usually makes it much easier to identify the real cause of the charging base connection error and helps avoid replacing parts that are still working properly.